Tonight's business report is brought to you by the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, where you belong.
Commerce Minister Donville Innes has acknowledged the need to make it easier to do business in Barbados. He was commenting on the latest Doing Business report, which has put Barbados at 132 out of 190 countries for the ease of doing business here.
You to query the methodologies engaged to arrive at their findings, there's no denying that we have quite a bit of work to do in Barbados in both the public and private sectors to positively transform service delivery in our island. I will address such in greater detail elsewhere soon, but it must be made very clear that increased accountability must be at the center of such transformation with respect to doing business in Barbados.
The minister was speaking at a training conference for student accountants put on by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Barbados. He told the students that, as usual, Barbados continues to ensure it meets its international obligations on issues like tax transparency, money laundering, and terrorism financing, among others. He says recently principals in the International Business Ministry met with colleagues from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, as well as the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. Mr. Innes adds that legislation will be amended next year to ensure that regulatory frameworks are strengthened and to ensure the survival of the related sectors.
Whilst you are now on that learning curve, please be ever mindful of the enabling environment or the environment within which you will have to function. And I can only urge you as students to take great note of what is taking place within the international regulatory environment, particularly as it comes to matters of tax policing and global transactions, because it will affect you no matter which aspect of business you go into as a professional.
A local auditor has lamented the significant opportunity costs that have accrued as a result of not adhering to Auditor General's reports over a number of years. Crystal Howell made the comments as she participated in a public accountability seminar at the Savannah Hotel as part of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Barbados' week of activities. In responding to a question during the event, she also identified some of the immediate areas that need to be addressed to start tackling the fiscal challenges currently being faced.
I would say getting a handle on the debt is something that we need to pay attention to, and the bank reconciliations, because we need to be able to understand exactly where our position is. We will have recently been made aware of the central bank's recent report, and it would have highlighted the level of foreign reserves that we have. It would have dropped to 8.6 weeks of coverage, and we would have seen as well that although we would have had some reduction in the deficit, the consequence of that measure is that it would have had a dampening effect on our expected growth and a heightening in the inflation.
Here now is a look at how stocks traded on selected exchanges across the region. We get started in Jamaica, where Cable and Wireless Jamaica Limited was the volume leader with 1,256,447 units, and they were followed by Careerist Limited and JMMB Group Limited 7.50%. In Trinidad and Tobago, Grace Kennedy Limited was the volume leader with 122,197 shares changing hands for a value of $360,591.15. They were followed by JMMB Group Limited and First Caribbean International Bank Limited. And in Barbados, Sagicor Financial Corporation Limited was the sole security, trading 20,654 shares at $2.16 each.